So today I thought I'd talk about Diamond Rank. Now those of you who have watched my videos or have played with me or watched a live stream would know that I've been playing in Diamond Rank for roughly 2 months now, give or take. And today I just wanted to do a quick guide as to how I got there and certain things that I did and certain things that I avoided in order to get to that rank that I wanted to be at. Now before I continue, I know there is sometimes this sort of diamond sentiment or sort of mindset where people are like, oh, you know, these people, they talk down to people who are lower ranks. I've seen it in the subreddit, like, and sometimes even people complain that there are too many diamonds in casual. There's a whole mishmash of field that I want to avoid, but basically it's just something I'd like to discuss. It's not a talking down to, or this is what you're doing wrong, you incompetent platinum. It's more of a, this is what I did, so maybe it will work for you. And that's exactly what this guide is going to be about. So, rule number 1, and some of these may be obvious, some of them may not be. Never ever play with less than 4 players. Rainbow Six Siege requires utmost communication, and sometimes you just can't rely on randomers. Randomers add in so many different variables in terms of how you're going to set up your room when you're defending or how you're going to go at things when you're attacking, that it's just not worth having a randomer. The only time a randomer is acceptable is if they're on the mic with you. And if you're playing with 4 players, which is my minimum recommended amount for playing in a ranked game, I'd say all of you get into game chat as opposed to a party chat if you're in that, for example, and make sure you're communicating with the randomer. That is 100% necessary. Secondly, always warm up. Now, people always have this tendency to want to play ranked and they just jump straight into a ranked match without doing anything. Like, you need to warm up. Like, I can't go from playing Titanfall 2 to playing Rainbow Six Siege ranked. They're 2 different levels of grind and sweatiness, and one of them is really fast paced and one of them is really slow paced, and you need to get your sort of bearings with your weapons again just to reactivate any sort of like muscle memory or whatever you've been doing or how much you've been playing the game, just to get your gun sights aligned and ready to play a ranked game. There are times where I've jumped into a ranked game without a warm up and I've been absolutely punished and obliterated for not doing so because my inaccuracy has just gotten the better of me, or I'm not ready for certain angles, or I've just played stupidly in things that I normally wouldn't do. So always warm up, even especially as a squad, because it gives you an opportunity to try out the operators that you're going to be using in ranked, try out some different loadouts, and get into the game with a good handle on what's going to go down when you're in the game. The next thing is no distractions. Like, be in the zone for Rainbow Six Siege. I can't tell you how much a small phone conversation, a notification on your iPad, or a pop-up on your desktop or something is going to put you off. You don't think it does, but it's always running in the back of your mind. Like, sometimes I'll be in like a WhatsApp group chat and I'll play Rainbow Six Siege and I want to peek at what people are saying, and as such I'm always sort of like half in the game, half out of the game, and as a result the distractions get the better of me and sometimes I pay the consequences for that. Some of you will be better at multitasking, it's not my thing, and if I'm going to play a ranked game of Rainbow Six Siege, I'm going to be in the zone and I'm going to be focusing on exactly what's happening in that game from start to finish, round to round, and I feel like just having no distractions is the best way to go at it if you're going to get into a ranked game. The next thing to mention is sort of a 2-parter. The first one is mindset. Now, when you start a ranked game, you have to set the precedent in the first round. This is something that a lot of people underestimate, but setting the tone of the rest of the game is something that is really important, and being able to manipulate that is also really important too. So for example, if we go into the first round and we absolutely dominate the team, we absolutely destroy the enemy team, maybe we're defending, we play really aggressively, or we play really tight, and as a result of that we just absolutely take them out. Doing that in your first round sets the tone for the rest of the rounds. It makes the team on the other side think, oh shit, what are we going to do this time? We need to change up our style, we need to try different things, and most of the time when they try different things, they actually get more things wrong than they get right. So for example, if I was playing really aggressive in my defensive round as a team, and then all of a sudden in the next defensive round we play really tight, but they've brought an overly aggressive loadout to counteract ours, then maybe they forgot to bring a Thatcher, or maybe they forgot to bring a Thermite, and they're going to pay the price for that. So being able to sort of manipulate the pacing and tone of the gameplay just by getting the first round in the way you want to get it done is incredibly important. And the same applies to if you've lost the first round. If you've lost the first round, then you need to logically deduce what you need to do the following round in order to get the foothold back. The more you start losing rounds, the less likely it is that you're going to start picking back up those rounds later. And although there are some clutch comebacks here and there, that's a rarity, especially when you start getting into the higher ranks. And being able to dictate the flow of the gameplay is really important. So make sure you're putting the first round in at your best level and making the enemy team think as much as they can. And the second side of this, which is something I wanted to mention, was clutch gameplay. And people would say, oh yeah, he's got the clutch. It's like this really weird gaming term that we use these days. But the proportion of kills on your team and how you play is really important. There will be games that you play where hardly anybody in your team is getting the kills, and one of you or two of you is just going to have to be the guy who grinds out those plays, gets the right kills, and wins the rounds, because there are times where kills are distributed fairly evenly, and your entire team will be playing at a decent level, and as a result, you will most likely win the game. But when that doesn't happen and somebody has a bad game, your team is going to be completely relying on you to pull off that play and pull off that win, and play sensible. You have to play really sensible to pull off those things. Sometimes if you see something that you want to aggress, you have to second think it and go, hey, wait, if I just hold this angle here, I'll still win. And, you know, being the person who can play smart and get those plays in to win rounds is really important. That leads me quite nicely onto my next point, which is playing intelligently. Now, a lot of the time you think, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that, and there's lots of cool things that potentially you could pull off in a match. Like, for example, if I see two people that I think I can outflank really quickly, but I have a really good angle on them in the first place, the intelligent thing to do is hold that angle and punish them for trying to enter a room or do something that I know that I can counteract. And just being able to think that through with your sort of tactical awareness, you know you're in a good spot, you know you've got a good angle, you know you're doing this, that, and the other correctly. Being able to think, hey, is moving this or trying something different worth it? Really important. So if I know I'm in a good defensive or offensive position, there's no reason to change that on the basis that I might be able to kill a few people. And playing intelligently is really just a huge part of being a platinum or diamond rank, because people who play in these ranks a lot of the time will be communicating, will be playing at a certain intellectual level, and they will be doing their best to outthink you as well as outmaneuver you. And my final thing really is to have a leader. Having somebody in your team who can say, hey, get that ceiling panel, armor up here, let's do this quickly, let's do that quickly, let's have 2 people playing aggressively, 3 people defending the room, let's have all of us hit one side of the room this way when we're attacking. Having that guy on your team is really important. Sometimes I do it, sometimes some other person in my party will do it, but it's absolutely utmost important that there's always one focal point of attention and somebody that perhaps you should listen to, because a lot of the time having that sort of backseat siege player or somebody who can give you some advice is really helpful. Like saying to a team of 2 who are the last 2 alive when they're defending to hold their angles on the doors and they'll be okay is sometimes quite helpful. I find that, when you have players on your team who need a bit of direction or needs to tell somebody to tell them, just keep doing this or do this without flooding them with too much information is really good to have. And especially if you have the cameras on and you've just, got that relay of information happening, it can be really useful for your friendlies to hear and something that will support them whilst they're playing. So guys, that's about it. There really isn't that much special to being a diamond rank. I think it's all about playing intelligently, playing in a team, communicating, and just doing the best you possibly can, be it with a clutch gameplay, supporting your team through relaying intelligence, anything along those lines. And having a team of 5 who can communicate and coordinate well together is really the key to getting everybody to platinum and diamond rank levels. If you have any questions, guys, leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer them. It's been me, the Tactical Brit. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon in another video.